What if I told you that what's burning you out isn't your work, but how you work? What if I told you that the flow that fuels you is constantly getting drained and even killed? Now, what are these flow draining and flow killing forces, and what can we do about them so we can have unstoppable focus? I want to talk about 4 of those forces in this video and what you can do about them. But before we get there, if you're new here, my name is Jorge Calaos. I'm a business lawyer based in Florida, specializing in high stakes lawsuits. And in this channel, we explore the principles and the strategies to help us live more productive, meaningful, and fulfilling lives. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's start with force number 1, which is your phone. I'm a big believer that there is no greater killer and drainer of your flow, your productivity, your focus, etc. than our phones. And there's a few reasons for this. Number 1, it's always by our side. If it's not by our side, we feel like a part of us is missing. It's almost like a limb. Number 2, these companies have spent billions of dollars in research and development to make these phones and these apps as addictive as humanly possible. And number 3, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do on the phone. And I guess also number 4, whenever you're feeling stressed out, you can just instantly pick it up and just kind of forget about your problems, even though when you put it down, you're going back to your problems. All that to say that it's a drug that is very readily accessible to us, and it's a drug that we don't necessarily always acknowledge as a drug. And so what I choose to do is to leave my phone away from my desk. That way, if I'm working and I get stressed, I can't just, there's no phone there. I would have to get up to actually get the phone. And if you have to physically get out of your chair to grab your phone, you're going to significantly reduce the amount of times that you're distracted by your phone. And that has exponential returns. Picking up your phone just once or twice during the day, during the work day while you're working, isn't just 10 times better than picking it up 10 or 20 times. It's more like 100 times better because you have more uninterrupted flow. And when you have uninterrupted flow, you can focus better, you can focus longer, you can focus deeper, you can create better work product. The second force that may be draining your flow is other people. Now, this one's more for people that work in a collaborative environment with coworkers. I'm sure you can relate to working and then having an email come in, or working and having a phone call come in, or working and somebody comes into your office either to ask about something related to work or just to, talk. And all of these things are doing the same thing that the phone is doing. It's distracting you from the thing that you are currently doing. And it's important to keep in mind that when something distracts us, once that thing leaves, we don't completely move back our attention to the thing that we were doing. There is actually a residue of attention that is left on that thing that takes a couple dozen minutes to actually shift all the way back to the original thing you were doing. And so if you're having people or things constantly interrupting you, you're never really fully focused on what you're doing, and then you wonder why you feel burnt out. It's because your attention is always being pulled in some direction. The way that you would handle other people being one of these flow sucking forces is by setting clear boundaries and expectations with your coworkers. Now, I will admit that this one is pretty dependent on the quality of your company and your company culture and the quality of your coworkers. Because, for example, if you have a boss that just demands your attention right away, then it is what it is, but that's something that you would have to deal with. But the way that you deal with other people distracting you is by setting clear boundaries and clear expectations. And the reason that you have to do this is because if people are used to being able to come by your office, for example, to talk whenever they want, and all of a sudden you're not letting them do that, they might take offense to that because you used to let them do that, and now they can't do that anymore, and they feel like something has changed and the relationship has been changed. Whereas if you tell them up front, hey, look, I'm really trying to focus more, so from this hour to this hour, I am going to go into quiet mode and I'm not going to let anybody into my office. I just wanted to give you a heads up so you don't take offense to us, because I know we talk a lot and have great conversations and we become great friends, but I'm really trying out this new thing where I'm going to just shut off the whole world from this time to this time. And so I just wanted to give you a heads up. Now they can't get offended if you shoo them away during those hours. And if they're good people and if they value, good work quality and good work habits, they will completely understand what you're telling them. The third force that sucks your flow is notifications. Now this can be notifications on your phone, or notifications on your email, or notifications on your computer. I have personally removed all notifications while I'm working. So I get no notifications on my phone while I'm working except for calls, because if somebody's calling me, it's probably important. But I've removed all other notifications on my phone. I've removed the email notifications. If you have Outlook, you know that there's a little pop-up that comes down at the bottom right. Whenever you get an email, I would be getting a pop-up every 5 minutes if I allowed that to be the way that it is, but I don't allow it to be the way that it is, so I don't get those notifications. And the reason I don't allow this to be the way it is because number one, it would be exhausting, and number two, think again about what I said about the residue of attention. So whenever a little email notification pops up, my attention is going to that notification, and it's a notification that lasts maybe 5 seconds, but then when I go back to my original work, a residue of attention is going to be left on that notification for a while. And sometimes those notifications, they show you the little preview of the email, and sometimes that little preview can get you thinking, or can get you stressed, or can get you worried, or whatever the case may be, and then that becomes even a bigger residue of attention that is left on that email. And so I am a proponent of checking your phone and your email intentionally, instead of reacting to, oh, I got a notification, let me read this email, oh, I got a notification, let me read this text. I'm a proponent of checking your email and your phone intentionally. So in other words, be proactive and intentional about when you check these devices or these apps. So instead of reacting to the email notification, for example, you would check your email, I don't know, at the end of every hour or something like that, and you would do so with the intention of clearing your emails for the past hour or whatever it is. Or you would go through your text messages, and instead of reacting to people the moment that you get that notification, you go on your phone with the intention of responding to all those people. Now, depending on how many texts and how many messages and how many emails you're getting in a day, you can set up if you're going to check those every hour, every 30 minutes, at the end of the day, etc. Now, as a final note on this one also kind of requires that you set clear boundaries and expectations, because if people are used to you replying to emails, for example, within 30 minutes, and all of a sudden it's taking you 2 hours on average to respond to emails, you know, it's nice to give them that expectation and that boundary that that's how it's going to be. And again, communicate why you're doing it, and if they're good people and they understand good work habits, they will understand where you're coming from. And finally, the fourth force that is sucking your flow is negativity. Now, this can be negativity in the workplace, this can be negativity on social media, which you wouldn't be checking anyways because you're removing the first force, but it can be negativity on social media, on your phone. It can be negativity from a message somebody sent, from an email, from a text somebody sent. It can be negativity from something that your friend said the day before. Again, residue of attention, especially if it's emotionally charged, a residue of your attention is going to be left on that thing. And moreover, if you have enough negative influences in your life, you are going to start developing a negative mindset, and a negative mindset is not conducive to flow. Flow requires a certain joy and a certain positivity and a certain excitement over the work, and if you are dragged down by negativity, it is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to engage in that flow, because your brain is going to be thinking the whole time, what is the point? There is no point. And so because negative voices linger, and because negative voices change the way that you operate, you must find a way to break free from that negativity in your life as much as you possibly can. Now, if you want some help with that, feel free to check out this video that I made on how to say no without feeling guilty. And as always, if you enjoy this content and want to see more, feel free to join the community, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment letting me know what you liked and what you want to see more of. It helps me make more videos. And as always, if you want even more resources, feel free to check out the link in the description box below that will take you to my website, and where you can download your free copy of the 4-Step Morning Routine, a quick start guide to high performance and peace of mind. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.